Okay, today we are dividing decimals by whole numbers, but our warm-up is just dividing, a review of dividing whole numbers. So 351 divided by 9, the first number is called our dividend. That means it goes inside. The second number is our divisor, and it goes outside. It's what it's being divided by. Okay, so I always tell my students to cover up one number at a time. 9 will not go into 3, it's too big. So you can put an X or a 0 right above it so you don't put anything else above it. That's a big mistake I see students make is they know 9 doesn't go in 3, so they take it into 35, but they put that answer above the 3. So now 9 goes into 35 3 times, so the 3 goes right above the 5. 3 times 9 then is 27, and now we're going to subtract. I have to borrow because I can't take 5 minus 7. Now I have 15 minus 7, which is 8, and now the next step is to drop down the 1. And I'm taking 9 into 81, which it will go in 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81, multiply, subtract, and I'm done. So my answer is 39. Number 2, we have 878 divided by 31. Okay, 31 will not go into 8. I'm guessing it will go in 2 times, to 87 2 times. I know 3 times is too much because 3 times 3 it'll be in the 90s. So 31 times 2 is 62. So I'll put 2 above the 7. 7 times 31 was 62. Subtract, we get 25. I want you to think about every time you subtract and you get the answer here, if that answer is greater than the divisor, that means you didn't go up enough times up here. Okay, but our answer here is not bigger than our divisor, so we're good. So I'm going to bring down the 8, and now I'll take 31 into 258. Come over here. I'm guessing it's going to be 8 times because 8 times 3 is 24, and that's about as close as we're going to get. So it'll go in 8 times. 8 times 31 was 248. Subtract, and I get 10, and that is less than the divisor. Okay, so we're going to stop right, well, actually, no, we're going to keep going. In some instances, you'll put remainder 10. Okay, since we're working with decimals now, we're going to add a decimal and a 0 and drop that number down. 31 into 100 will probably go 3 times. So I'll put a 3. 3 times 31 was 93. Subtract. And we get 7. Add another 0. Bring it down. 31 will go into 72 times. 2 times 31 is 62. Subtract, and we get 8, and it's going to keep going, but we're going to stop now and move it into our lesson. So it says when dividing a decimal by a whole number, divide as with whole numbers, then place the decimal in the quotient. The quotient is the answer when you divide. Put the decimal in the answer directly above its place in the dividend. So when we estimate here, that just is a good idea to make sure when we get our actual answer that it's close to our estimate. So our divisor is 2, and we want to make this a whole number. So that does round to 7 if I round it. But 2 will not go into 7. They're not compatible numbers. They don't work well together. So we can say 6. 6 divided by 2 would be 3. Or we could even go up to 8 and do 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Either way, our answer should be close to 3 or 4. So we come over here, 6.8 divided by 2. I'm going to put my decimal straight up so I don't forget, and divide like normal. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract, bring down my 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, and I get my answer of 3.4, which is between 3 and 4. Okay, number 2, 9.48 divided by 15. Put your decimal straight up. 15 will not go into 9, so I'm going to 0. It will go into 94. I'm going to try 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9, so that's 90. So it will go in 6 times. 6 times 15 was 90. Subtract 94 minus 90 is 4. Bring down my 8. I'll try 3 times. That's 45. That's about as close as we're going to get. 3 times 15 is 45. Subtract, I get 3. Now, with decimals, we don't have remainders. We just add a 0. I don't have to add a decimal 0 because I already have a decimal in my dividend. So I just add a 0 and bring it down. And now 15 goes into 32 times. 2 times 15 is 30. So we get 0.632. Number 3, we have 3.49 divided by 4. Put your decimal straight up. 4 will not go into 3. It's too big. 4 will go into 34 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract, I get 2. That is less than my divisor, so we're good. Bring down the 9. 4 goes into 29 7 times because 7 times 4 is 28. Use your multiplication chart if you don't know your math facts enough. Look at the row of 4 on your multiplication chart and see where as close as you can get to 29 without going over, and that's 28, and that's 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, I get 1. Add a 0. Bring it down. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Add another 0. Bring it down. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. So we're done, and we get 0.8725. Number 4, 12.32 divided by 22. Put my decimal straight up. 22 will not go into 1, and it will not go into 12. So I have 2 zeros. I have to take 22 into 123. I'm going to try 6 because I know 2 times 6 is 12. It's probably going to be too much. Yep, it's too much. It's 132, so that means it's going to be 5 times. So I'll put a 5 up here. 5 times 22 is 110. Notice I'm keeping my numbers lined up nice and neat. 3 minus 0 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. Now that number is less than my divisor, so we're good. Drop down your 2, and looky there. 22 goes into 132 6 times exactly. So we're done, and we get 0.56 or 56 hundredths. Number 5, I have 69.904 divided by 34. So let's see. Decimal straight up. 34 will not go into 6. It will go into 69 2 times because 2 times 4 is 8 and 2 times 3 is 6. So that's 68. Subtract, I get 1. Bring down my 9. This time, 34 will not go into 19. It's too big. So I have to put a 0. Up here it goes in 0 times and then multiply. 0 times 34 is 0. Subtract, I get 19. That answer is still less than my divisor. Now I bring down the next number, which is a 0, and I have to take 34 into 190. I'm guessing it's about 6 times. It's probably going to be too much because 6 times 3 is 18. Yep, it's too much. That's 204. So I'll try 5 times. That's 170. 5 times 34 is 170. Subtract, I get 20. Bring down my 4. I have to take 34 into 204, and I got that right there. So I know it's 6 times, and I'm done. So my answer is 2.056. Okay. On the back, light travels 5.88 trillion miles in 1 year. How far will light travel in 1 month? Well, there are 12 months in a year, so we'll take that and divide it by 12. Put Get your decimal straight up. 12 will not go into 5. It will go into 58 4 times. I just know 4 times 12 is 48. Subtract, I get 10. That answer is less than my divisor, so we're good. Bring down my 8. And 12 times 9 is 108. So I get my answer of 0.49 trillion miles per month. The last one, 4 dozen bagels cost $30. How much change will you receive if you pay for a dozen bagels with a $10 bill? So this is 4 dozen. There's 12 in a dozen. If 4 dozen costs $30, I want to know how much 1 dozen costs. I'm going to take $30 and divide it by 4. Put my decimal straight up. 4 will not go into 3, but it'll go into 37 times. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 is 2. That number is less than my divisor, so I can drop down a 0. 4 goes into 25 times. 4 times 5 is 20. I have one more 0 to bring down. 4 goes into 0 0 times, so I'm done. So that means that 1 dozen bagels costs $7.50 if 4 dozen costs 30 cents or $30. They want to know how much change will you receive if you pay with a $10 bill. So if I pay with $10, remember we line up our decimal points when we add and subtract. Can't take 0 minus 5, so I go all the way over to the 1 and borrow. Make that a 10, borrow from that 10 and make it a 9. And now I have 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 7 is 2. So it looks like you're going to get $2.50 back.